Hello, let's do Wordle for Friday, June 12th. Let's play. Yesterday we spun the wheel. It's said to start with donut. All right. Donut is all gray. So common letters, S, R, L. We want an A or an E or both. We could do something like spare. I don't mind spare or scare. Let's try spare today. I hope ER isn't an issue. ER might be an issue. Are we an AER word? Uh-oh. That was my worry, and I gambled it. Um, this is why I don't like my follow-ups to have both E and R in them. Well, let's see what's left. At least we don't have P or N. Um, with AER, I don't think W is a problem. But V, there's how many VERs are there? Well, we don't want to guess the V because that locks us into it. We want to guess the things that would start the V. We only get two word letters at once, so we got to make sure they're high value. So there is waiver. Raver if we wanted to start with R. We don't have to lock in ER yet, which also gives us some flexibility. Favor is not spelled that way. Gaver, laver. Is caver a word with a C, like someone who goes into caves? R and W. So I'm actually thinking starting with R would be a good idea instead of doing ER. And I have to include the E and the A somewhere. But maybe I can do something like something along these lines or like this. Or I don't have to use the W. There's a bunch more besides the V. So let's think about what else. Like, is there L left? Logger is a word. Lamer, maybe. Laker, I don't think so. Lawyer is not spelled that way. L doesn't seem super high value. What about C? There's maker with a K. How many? Oh, I think AKER has baker, maker, faker. Okay, so maker, baker, faker. I'd like to start with R and get two more of these if possible. That would be ideal, but they don't really work very well together. But I need to use the A and the E. There's layer. So I could try ending in Y. I was thinking about like Rebe, Remi. We can't put the A there. Well, you could put the A there, but it would be a filler. I don't necessarily mind a filler here, but I don't know if I want to lock in the E there. So what if we do something like this? What can we do? Relay. Actually, that just says layer, though. We don't have another L. I don't think that's a good idea. You've heard of DK. How about ReK? Is X enough to justify doing an X? AXER? Maxer? No, I don't think so. You've heard of Rumba. How about Remba? I'd like the B or the M. Oh, I have the M, but M, B, F were the big ones, I think. Do you remember? No? Don't remember? Okay. It's Remba anyway. Recap would be great if I had already used the P. The other option is to put the R in the middle for rarer. I could do feral. Honestly, feral's the best thing I've thought of, so I'm gonna guess that. It's not AER. Okay, so I don't have to worry about the trap. Okay. So what is it? R second EA? Is that all it is? Dream is gone. Cream is available. Do I just try cream? I might as well. I don't think I'm in danger anymore. Okay, well, hopefully there's not too many REAs because I just said I'm not in danger. Break is an option. There's not that much we can put before the A, before the R, I mean. Think about vowels first because I always forget about them. EREA doesn't seem to make sense. IREA, A. Area is a word, but we can't really put a letter at the end of it. So WR, I think reek. Reek is a word. So break and reek, they get each other, which is fine. Unless there's another REAK. But starting with Y doesn't make sense. IAG. Is there any left? I mean, great is a word, but T is gone. Greek is double E. I don't think there's a G left. HR, no. JR, KR, doubtful. ZR, no. XR, VR, no. BR. So I think it's break and reek. So I'm going to go for break. Nice. All right. Just like A, E, and R are just in general so trappy. And that's why I try, like, as soon as I hit enter on Spare, I was like, I shouldn't have done that. Having A, R, and E in the same guess early on, like, if they're all yellow, we're in trouble. Anyway, I managed to solve it. It's fine. Let's spin the wheel and see what tomorrow's starting word will be, and then we'll do some analysis. See how well I did. See if I was actually in danger. Gourd, suggested by Richard Dolson. So if you're following along, tomorrow we'll be starting with gourd. And let's do some analysis. I talked about this yesterday as well. But the website's been updated to have a exact analysis for my starting word with the coloring that it'll have for today's answer. So if you add the URL that's on screen, if you add a question mark Rangsk at the end, then that will, my name, RANGSK, that will enable that feature, which might be confusing otherwise if you, that's why it's opt-in. But the answer was break. We started with donut. So there are plenty of words that don't lose. 670 left. I did spare. So let's see what it has to say about spare. It says slice was the best option. Notice it avoids the R. If you're going to include an E, don't include an R. Clasp. Clasp might have been good. That's what the official bot used to start with. Scale, collapse. Notice there's no E's and R's being done together. I did spare. Yeah, so spare would have lost on freak. Oh. I did feral. I didn't have freak left. Okay. I was like, did I miss freak? Giver, payer, and paver. Interesting. So the only way to not lose from here is wager. So I did feral after a lot of thinking. It is on the list, and it is one of these 97.3s, but apparently gayer was an option to lose on for feral. But it wasn't gayer because it wasn't ER at all. So there's only 5 words left. Break, bream, I would know. Ooh, okay. Break, bream, creek, cream, and reek. Okay. I didn't think of some of those, but it turns out cream was okay. You want to do one of the B's or the C's, and you can eke out a win. So I did cream, which is tied for the best option, and we're down to break and reek. There was also arrear. Oh, I didn't think of arrear. Usually you hear arrears, 6 letters, and so I won a 50-50 on this one. All right. It would have done slice. With only the E, we're still worried about ER. It's going to go berry. Check the double R. That's interesting. I think it's a good opportunity to do it, to be honest. And we said the Y was also useful. We start with B now, so there's 3 words left. Baker, break, and bream. And so it says just do one of them. They all get each other. So might get a 4. Better chance to get a 5. Baker and break are anagrams. All right. It starts with tails. Beard is the follow-up with the E and the A. That's something you remember. Then break or bream. So it's a 50-50 for a 3 or a 4. Steel has the E and the A. Placed. We only have 14 words that do that are left. Creek being one of them. And then now we're down to this trap. So we could get unlucky and do freak, reek, break, and get it in 5, which is really unfortunate for having 4 greens on the second guess. All right, adieu. Very common starting word. With the A and the E, it's just trace is the best option here. So do that, because all the other ones might lose. And then after trace, we're going to do break or bream or freak or reek. We're kind of just one of those 4. None of them help each other. Oops. So break just wins. Bream would get break. Freak is between reek and break. So it's somewhere between 3 and 5. Audio. Suggest clasp as the follow-up with the yellow A. And then from here, we're going to just double R. We're already worried about the AER trap. This is basically the one thing we're worried about. And so we're going to guess Terra, which gets rid of that double R case, like rarer and raver and stuff like that. And so now we're really worried it's AER, but apparently gamer keeps us alive. And then after that, we must do a hard mode filler of wafer, or we might lose. We're down to break, freak, and reek. We only have 2 guesses left. So wafer gets rid of reek and freak. Otherwise, you're gambling. So you do a hard mode filler with wafer, and then it's down to just break. So this took a lot of careful strategy to not lose with audio. It's the classic thing where if you do a vowel heavy start, then the issue is you now haven't seeded enough initial consonants to have eliminated the consonants for these traps. And now you're stuck guessing one at a time. All right. Stare, another common starting word. We're really worried about the ER trap, but logger gets you out of it if you're perfect. Now we know it's not ER, so we're going to go bream. And then it's down to bread or break. So a 4 or 5. It's interesting that M is important, I guess. Slightly better than these other options. And pert tries to get in 2. There's 64 words left, so we have a 1 in 64 to get in 2. The best guess is gamer, so that is not getting it in 2. Then we got bread or break. It could get lucky and get a 3. Otherwise, it's going to get a 4. All right. One day pert will get a 2. It's a 1 in 19 chance, according to the math. The thing about 1 in 19, that's rare enough that you can get bad, unlucky streaks that go for quite a while. Finally, the official bot starts with tarps. Beard is the follow-up with the AR for tarps as well. From there, it's bream or break, so 3 or 4. I'm guessing it goes break before bream. All right, let's grab this screenshot and then do the official bot analysis. It was break. Okay. Look at the bot. Hard mode first. It gave me a 97 skill. I like my guesses, actually. Starting with donut, 154 others. Spare being the most common follow-up. So I'm actually you followed me there. Clasp was the good one, I think. One of the good ones. Place, laser, raise, shale, spear, scare, leers, and parse is what it would do. The bot's avoiding that because of the AER trap, but this official one doesn't. Feral gave a 93 to. It would have preferred Rager in this case. I think Logger was the way out, maybe. Cream gave a 99. Break gave a 99. That's why my skill score got bumped up a bit. Yeah, it does tarp speed break. It does break before bream. Wow. I guess break is a starting word for some people because 0.5 is unusually high. So we've got some people legitimately getting in 1. 7.2, 32.1, 65.7, 88.9, 98.1. Losing on the REA trap. A bunch of them. All right. Let's check regular mode. All right. And give me a 94 skill. Some fillers populated to the top. Raise being the most common follow-up here. Interesting. Arise, spare is still up there. Share, place, cream, clear, laser, plays. Parse, no one went. Isn't that the same follow-up between the two? That's interesting. It gave me an 80 skill for feral. It didn't like that nearly as much. Wanted a filler. Slate, ramen, bowed or bowed and break. Okay. Less than 0.1% on donut. Oh, it's 0.8 on break. Yeah, so break seems to be a starting word for some people. About 0.3% of people. All right, 6.5. Congrats to those who got in one. 58.4, 83.8. 96.4 is significantly less. This REA trap again. Even REAK. All right, well, how'd you do?